Hey everyone, it's Peek. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Pokemon Unite balance patch update video. So very excited to talk about this today. We are going to be getting a game update this Wednesday, August 16th. So that's 2 days from now. And we will be seeing some balance updates for different Pokemon. So very excited to talk through those with you guys today. We're also going to see some bug fixes, text fixes, and some shop updates. So in every update so far that's happened in the game, we've gotten at least one holoware or skin added. So I'm curious to see what it is. They don't mention it here, but very excited to learn more about that. And of course, I will kind of talk through the update and different changes that are very exciting once the update hits in a video, of course. If you guys haven't subscribed already, definitely consider subscribing. This channel is kind of your one-stop shop for Pokemon Unite news, updates, tips, tricks, guides, that sort of thing, and just anything Pokemon Unite. You can depend on me to just put it out as soon as possible. This actually just dropped a couple minutes ago, so make it a quick video for you guys so we can go over this and so you're kept in the loop of what is happening with the game. So without further ado, let's hop into these changes. The first change, which is very exciting here, I think. And again, I think this really goes in theme with the balance patches we've seen previously. It really seems like they want to see people using more moves in terms of diversity of move sets and stuff that's good, which is very exciting. So you can already see right here that they are updating Crustle, and they're buffing both Stealth Rock and Rock Tomb, which honestly are probably the moves that like really just aren't used very much. So across the board, this is getting a damage buff for Rock Tomb as well. And Stealth Rock, which normally has an 8-second cooldown, is actually going to get its cooldown reduced. So very interested to see how low that cooldown will be, because X Scissor is a 9-second cooldown on Crustle. So maybe if it's low cooldown enough, I don't know, Stealth Rock could actually be good. I think X Scissor is just really so strong for engaging, but you know, we could definitely see some use out of Stealth Rock now. So, and this is something I'm really excited about for Garchomp. If you guys have watched my stream on Twitch, where I'm streaming a lot of Pokemon Unite and just talking about different game, a lot of people ask me like which Pokemon I want to see buff the most, and always the answer is Garchomp. Oh, by the way, I guess I didn't mention I'm not using face cam today, just because last time I did this, some of the text was blocked, so that's why you're not seeing me today. I don't think I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. Oops. But anyway, yeah, that's why you can't see me. Figured it'd be easy for you guys to see it this way. So anyway, I really have wanted to see Garchomp be in a place where it can actually be used properly, and one of the suggestions that I actually had, which I'm really glad to see here, is that the movement speed needed to be increased, because Garchomp just has no sticking power. It really struggles being able to stick to its targets, especially without having the red buff on Garchomp. It's basically impossible to lock down targets, because Garchomp just doesn't have anything in its moveset to really make sure it's able to attack the Pokemon around it and that they can't get away. So movement speed, I'm guessing this is an increase, like, I don't know, of course, I guess it could be a decrease, but that would be pretty weird. So anyway, we see Bulldoze getting increased damage. That is, of course, the move you start out with at level 1 or level 3. So gonna give a little bit of more early damage to Garchomp in that combo. That's the one where you just do damage in an area. So very excited to see how that works. And the cooldown for Dragon Rush is actually reduced. Dragon Rush is on an 8-second cooldown currently. So this is going to make it a lower cooldown move than Dig, which is also 8 seconds. So in terms of mobility, it sounds like Dragon Rush is probably going to be the option now for Garchomp. So I really hope this helps Garchomp. I don't think it's enough, honestly. I think some more like damage increase and probably just a very significant move speed increase needs to do, or maybe they need to give natural slowing ability to its auto attacks. I'm not positive, but yeah. So that's Garchomp. Let's move on to Slowbro. So this is really interesting. Duration of effects on opposing Pokemon decreased for Surf. So I'm guessing this means that the knockup is reduced, or just like you're not as stuck in Surf, because I mean, if anyone's played against Slowbro against the upgraded version of Surf that knocks up 3 times, you basically can't get out of it if you get hit by one of the waves. So until the move is actually ended. So I think this is just to allow Pokemon to not get like locked down for 2 to 3 seconds with Surf, which, you know, is probably okay from a balance perspective. We'll see what that's like. Obviously, they don't really give very specific details or numbers here, but that's what we know about it so far. And you got Scald buffs here, which is very interesting because, like, I really don't think this is enough to warrant taking Scald, just increasing the damage. Surf is such a good move, and even if they lower the time that the CC or the hindrance takes effect with the knockups, I really don't think it warrants taking Scald still. Even, I mean, I guess it depends on how much damage this is increased by, but it would have to be a lot for it to be good. But do keep in mind that Scald is on a 5-second cooldown, whereas Surf is on a 9-second cooldown. So honestly, if they increase the damage of Scald enough, it could honestly warrant trying out Scald, because Scald burns opponents and reduces their movement speed. So very good status conditions for locking down opponents. I just don't know if it warrants dropping Surf for it, because they do fall in the same slot. So this is kind of the big one, and if you saw the thumbnail, of course, this is what I'm gonna have on it. So Snorlax, big nerfs across the board. Heavy Slam damage decreased. Honestly, this is a bit tragic for Snorlax players, because Heavy Slam was really good at securing last hits on Dreadnoughts, on Zapdos, and I honestly think, you guys, that this damage decrease, obviously, again, we don't know the numbers, but I think it's going to be pretty significant. So you're probably not going to see as much ability on Snorlax to be able to last hit Zapdos, Dreadnought, stuff like that. And again, another nerf to the big move that everyone uses, Heavy Slam and Block. So Block, duration of effects on opposing Pokemon decrease. So really that means that the stun is going to be reduced, and it's not going to really be able to knock back as much in terms of like the knockback distance that Block had previously. It's going to be decreased. So Heavy Slam and Block both getting very significant nerfs, I think, and it's probably warranted, to be honest, but it's just kind of sad because Snorlax is a really fun Pokemon. And very impactful. I really like it when they make impactful support / tank roles in games like this, because it's great for making plays, great for, you know, carrying. Whereas I think when you kind of nerf tanks like this, I don't know, it's maybe not as healthy for the game, but we'll just kind of see how it goes. Of course, I do agree that Snorlax was very broken with what you could do with Block. It's just an incredibly good skill, and Heavy Slam as well. That combo is just very deadly. So we'll see how that goes. And for the last of the nerfs for Snorlax, its Unite move HP restoration is going to be decreased. And this, I think, is super warranted, because like, if Snorlax could Unite move at 1 HP and literally be full health, even with 3 enemy Pokemon attacking it within like 2 seconds. So good to see that, honestly. I don't think a Unite move should heal you to full HP. I think it should, you know, with Buddy Berry and everything in the game, I think there's plenty of, you know, resources to kind of play off your Unite move, but getting a full HP bar off of it, I think, was a little broken. So that's honestly a good nerf. And for the buffs for Snorlax, Flail is getting upgraded. I don't know if that means extra damage. Let's just kind of see what it says here on the Snorlax thing. The effect of the move has been strengthened. Okay, so Flail is going to have more damage. So I'm guessing your attack is going to go up even further the lower health you are as Snorlax. If you didn't know, Flail on Snorlax, the lower health you are, the more basic attack damage you do. So if you're very low health, you're doing like the damage of a super fed Cinderace or Greninja. Like, it's actually crazy. But you know, nobody really goes Flail because Heavy Slam's so good. But we'll see if we see this used. I think Heavy Slam's utility in the CC is more valuable than the damage, other than last hitting Zapdos and Dreadnought stuff. But yeah, we'll just have to see. So that's Snorlax. Moving on to Peek's favorite Pokemon here, Greninja. Really good changes, in my opinion. Smokescreen is going to get downgraded, and if we look over here again at the Japanese website, it's just weakened the effect of the move. So that essentially means that you're not going to get nearly as much attack as you did before coming out of Smokescreen, and I think they're probably going to decrease the amount of time that Pokemon are blinded when they walk through Smokescreen, which, you know, is a decent nerf. But I'm guessing the upgraded version of Smokescreen Plus, which increases your attack after you unstealth, is probably going to be nerfed here. And of course, the cooldown is lengthened, which is pretty significant. The cooldown of Smokescreen right now is 11 seconds, so definitely on the longer end of cooldowns for games, or for moves in this game. Whereas if you go down here, Double Team is the other mobility move that Greninja has access to, and the cooldown's being reduced. So I'm actually going to play around with this quite a lot, because Double Team and Smokescreen right now are both 11 seconds in terms of cooldown, and Smokescreen is just better across the board. However, with a lower cooldown, this will really allow for greater mobility on Greninja. And if you didn't know this about Double Team, go check out my Greninja video where I talk through all the abilities and what they're capable of. Double Team, unlike Smokescreen, actually has invincibility frames, so you can dodge Unite moves like a Cinderace Unite move or a Machamp engage, stuff like that. You can dodge it entirely with Double Team. Whereas Smokescreen only has unstoppable frames, Double Team has actual invincibility frames where you are immune to damage for a very brief period of time. So if you practice enough with Greninja's Double Team, you can learn to dodge very impactful damage, which is really good for outplaying in my opinion, and definitely plays into the Greninja playstyle. So very excited to see the Double Team changes. I'll definitely be streaming a bunch of games with Greninja, trying out the new Double Team, and of course Water Shuriken. The buff here we see is that the damage dealt to opposing Pokemon is increased and cooldown is reduced. So this is, you guys are kind of toast. I'm just kidding, but like honestly, this is going to be very strong. Surf has a 9-second cooldown, but of course it still resets. Surf is being untouched. It resets if you knock out an enemy Pokemon. So definitely still a very strong skill. However, Water Shuriken is already only a 7-second cooldown, which is reduced every time you hit a ranged auto attack by 0.8 seconds. So if they reduce this cooldown by like 1 or 2 seconds, you're going to be Water Shurikening like every 3 seconds. It's going to be insane. And with increased damage on Water Shuriken, I don't know, it might be time for the reign of the Water Shuriken. I'm really excited about this. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, moving on, you got Wigglytuff, Unite move, Starlight Recital bug fixes. So it doesn't mention it here in the English notes, but the Japanese notes mention that fixed a bug where the Unite move gauge cannot be actively stored after use. So I'm not exactly sure what that means, to be honest. However, there are a number of bugs with Wigglytuff's Unite move currently where like it is very easy to abuse and go back to 90% even after getting the shields from it, from Buddy Barrier and activation and stuff like that. So I think they're aware of these bugs, which is really good to see. And yeah, so they're just fixing something with that. Again, Cinderace basic attack bug fixes. It doesn't mention it here in the English notes, but we have it here. Fixed a bug where movement speed was increasing while a boosted auto attack was prepared. So if you guys didn't know, on Cinderace, you can actually move faster currently if you have a boosted auto attack, if you're running with the little like flame soccer ball. So apparently this was a bug. I actually thought it was like an intentional thing, but I guess not. So that is being fixed. And again, here we're probably going to have to look at the Japanese patch notes again and just see here that for Alolan Ninetales, you are going to get bug fixes for the passive. So fix the bug where the effect was activated on hidden opponents in the grass. So this is actually a really good fix in my opinion. I thought this was by intention, but I guess this is a bug, or they just are calling it a bug. But if you didn't know, Alolan Ninetales basically is the only Pokemon that gives you like vision in bushes by activating its passive to Pokemon that are nearby. So this is really good in my opinion. I'm excited for this because I think this was just really too strong. The ability that Alolan Ninetales has to just walk up to grass and be able to see if opponents are in it with its passive was very strong, and I think, you know, unlike anything else in the game. So really good to see that. And I guess there was a bug with Aurora Veil too, where the passive would activate more often. So again, not a huge like nerf or anything to Alolan Ninetales, but this will actually affect the gameplay of the Pokemon, so keep that in mind. In terms of Gardevoir, again, this is not mentioned in the English patch notes, but and this is so funny too, because I always wondered playing Gardevoir, why do I feel like the special defensive Pokemon is not being dropped with my boosted auto attacks. Well, that's because apparently it wasn't. So now Gardevoir's boosted auto attacks are working properly once this patch hits, of course, and they will lower the special defense of enemy Pokemon. So if you lane with, for example, a Slowbro, and you both have your boosted auto attacks, which lower the special defense of enemy Pokemon, this can be really good for hitting a lot of damage in a very short period of time. So just, yeah, lowering the special defense of Pokemon is very strong, and I'm glad to see this change because Gardevoir definitely needed this. And I guess for Psychokinesis, which I'm not exactly sure what that's going to be. Oh, that's Psychic. Okay. So nobody really uses Psychic Omega Lol, but if you do, then, you know, it's actually going to lower the special defense of Pokemon that are hit now, which I guess is decent. It's a decent change. I mean, this is a buff for sure, but Moonblast is the other move you can take, and Moonblast not only has a lower cooldown, it's just 6 seconds compared to Psychic 7 seconds, but it's just better. Like, having access to a stun in this game is better. So that's kind of where we're stuck here. This is Cramorant. So I guess a bug was fixed with Cramorant's Hurricane, where some wild Pokemon couldn't be damaged. So good to see that. Okay, so if you've ever played Shiver City, super interesting patch here is that the Avalugg, if you've ever played it, you know, like, that Avalugg is so hard to kill and it feels like it never dies compared to like a Zapdos or a Dreadnought or stuff like that, or even the Regigigas in the middle of Aroma Park. So in Shiver City, this Avalugg is just so tanky. So in general, they're decreasing its HP, its defenses, so it should be easier to take down and get that Frost buff to really make an impact on that quick play battle. So excited to see that in my quick play matches. And of course, no numbers here, which is sad and unfortunate, but very excited to see these changes. X attack is getting a buff. Fluffy Tail is going to, I guess, make enemy Pokemon take even more damage than it already does. I'm not sure what they mean by goal getter in terms of stat increases. I'm not sure if that means you're going to be able to channel scores faster or if they're going to reduce the cooldown. I think if they said, I don't know, and then it says stat decreases for eject button. So I guess this is all just going to be, these are going to be what? I don't know. Stat decreases, stat increases, because I was under the impression that, yeah, so like the Japanese website says increase cooldown, reduce cooldown, and the effect has been strengthened, and then X attack effect has been strengthened. Okay, so the Japanese patch notes are honestly a lot more reliable than the English ones. Unfortunately, we just don't speak Japanese though, so we kind of need both to kind of see what the difference is. However, I think the cooldown for eject button is probably warranted. It should punish people a lot more, and maybe see a little bit more diversity in terms of items that are taken. Reducing the cooldown usage of Goal Getter is really good in my opinion. 2 minutes is just too long in a game like this to have on your battle items cooldown. So I'm curious to see what they make eject button, because as it stands right now, 55 seconds, it's really good. So I'm guessing it'll be around like 70 seconds or something like that. So a minute 10 essentially. For eject buttons, so definitely keep that in mind. You have to start taking that into account. So this should make like ganking lanes easier as a jungle. If your laners are able to poke enemies out so that they use their eject button, you will, you know, now have more time to be able to play off of the fact that they don't have eject button, and you can catch them out with that red buff as a jungler. So, and then, yeah, of course, the enemy Pokemon are going to take more damage with Fluffy Tail, and then X attack is going to increase your attack and special attack even more. So, very exciting changes there. And last but not least, which is not mentioned by the English patch notes, is something I'm actually really excited to see. And that is when you're knocked out and you are respawning in your base, you will actually be invincible for a short period of time. So you won't actually be able to be attacked by enemy Pokemon. So if you've ever been in those situations where, and think Super Smash Brothers with this, right? Like you respawn, you lose a stock and you respawn, you're invincible for a short period of time there. Similar to this, it's going to allow you to, you know, kind of maybe push an advantage if an enemy team is super far pushed up onto your home goal right by your spawn point. you will, you know, you'll be able to be invincible for a little bit, get some damage on them, and hopefully we don't see as many instances of that where the enemy team is just pushed up so far that they're just like literally in your goal. So anyway, that is it for the patch notes. I'm very excited about all these changes. Really just excited to try out the new stuff on Greninja, of course. The new double team. I'm really curious to see how Snorlax's damage has changed with Heavy Slam. And I mean, honestly, Slowbro Scald seems really interesting. If they lower the cooldown enough, it could be really good. So yeah, all these changes are available on the English website and this Japanese website, of course, the official websites for both Pokemon Unite. And I will link those in the description if you want to check them out yourselves. If you guys have any questions for me or any ideas for future videos, definitely let me know in the comments, and let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of thing. I really enjoy keeping everyone up to date on these patch notes, and I try to get these videos out as soon as possible. So I'm going to publish this right away so you guys are kept in the loop and you can have this knowledge as well and get ready for the new update that's happening on Wednesday. So very, very exciting. I guess just one day away, really. What it comes down to, or maybe like 1.5 days away when you see this. So yeah, very excited for these changes. If you guys haven't followed already, again, or subscribed, I mean, on YouTube, definitely consider following. It's a great place to be, great community. And speaking of the great community that we have here, join the Discord. There's so many great people there, always finding matches for Pokemon Unite and just chatting about the game. And it's a great place to ask me questions if you have them, of course. And follow me on Twitter. All those links are in the description to join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. That's the best place to get news on me and on the game and just everything. So until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.